Hell yeah, we about to get it down this morning, baby. Da-ba-da-doo, baby. Yeah. I'm over here in Chicago, man. They gave me a tour of my base, man. They gave me a little walkthrough of battle stations. And then I got to see, then after that, I got to see all the recruits get their ball caps, covers, whatever you want to call them, right? So yesterday, wasn't a lot of senators in there either. I think it was like 3 or 4 asking questions. I can't remember, but it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot. And, all the people that voted for this Muhammad Ali Revival Act, which pretty much is a amendment to the Muhammad Ali Act, they voted for it. I don't think they could. I don't think any of them really consulted anyone in the boxing game. I don't think they did, because if they did, I think they would have known that this shit is stupid. And if damn, they zooming. I didn't want to do that. If the UFC could do its own thing without having to constraints with the Muhammad Ali Act, you know what I'm saying? Why not this little UBO thing that why not this little UBO thing that Zuffa and them are trying to form? Because the way I see it is, I don't know why they need to amend or add to the Muhammad Ali Act to create their own UBO. Maybe it is specific to boxing, which is why. That's actually why. But them creating this Revival Act, it affects all of boxing and not just people who want to fight under UBOs, which is the strange part about it. So it seems like not only do they want to have their own like little monopoly, they also want to affect regular boxing for some odd reason. I think that reason is because they want full disclosure of financials. I think that's why. And I was watching the hearing. So you had two guys that was against the Revival Act. You had 2 guys that was for the Revival Act. One guy, I don't think he's ever, two of the guys, I don't think they ever done anything with boxing. One guy is a UFC behind the scenes guy who now works for WWE. And when I was listening to him, I get the gist, like they really don't give a fuck. As long as they went in there like lawyers, and they would say anything that will allow them to get the result that they want. Because at the end of the day, that's what the main thing is about. The main thing is about these UBOs being able to create their own rules, right? Just like these sanctioning bodies, but also dictate who fights who. That's what they want to do. And then if you don't fight who these UBOs want you to fight, they could just put you on the shelf, like the UFC has been doing. And when the UFC's little $300 million lawsuit came up, nobody really talked about why they got sued. Nobody talked about why the UFC got sued. The UFC got sued for antitrust. That's pretty much, they had bad business practices. You know, to the point to where $300 million was awarded. And they were doing things like putting people on the shelf. Oh, you don't want to fight this guy? And then when the emails came out, because the emails came out, these guys were literally saying shit like, well, if you don't want to fight the guy, good luck him fighting anywhere. We'll just put him on the shelf. Like, who does shit like that? Like, you talk about fighters that just got off injuries that are that haven't been training and getting 2-3 months when they've been sitting around for 6 months trying to heal up. Now all of a sudden got to get in the octagon. And that's the reason why champions in the UFC, that's the reason why they come and go. That's the reason why they come and go. You know, they come and go is because they want to control who's the champion. That's the reason why, like, Conor McGregor coming back, look at him. He'll get what the fuck he want. You know? He'll get what the fuck he want. And there's nothing, you know? There's only one dude that I know other than Conor McGregor that can literally damn near kill somebody and still fight in the same year while he's in jail. And that's Jon Jones. And that's Jon Jones. You know? But it just seems dirty. You know? You talking about $500 a round. You talking about making your own rules. And then the thing when they talk about boxer safety, I don't even know why the fuck are they talking about boxer safety with the Revival Act. Well, because they want to implement their own gloves and all this shit. Which really the problem is with the gloves. The gloves is that, you know, in boxing, you know, there's no one set of gloves. You know, there's no one set of type of glove that you can use. The fighter can use whatever is comfortable and best for them, as long as the sanctioned bodies is okay with it. Now, the problem with that is that there's no real cut thing on what a boxing glove is supposed to consist of. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing. There's nothing, because if there was, you wouldn't have all these discrepancies when it comes to gloves. You wouldn't have thumbs coming off. You wouldn't have people that look like they got their hand halfway in the glove. You know, there wouldn't be. You know, and I don't even think they really. I think people strayed away from actually checking gloves after the goddamn fight. You know, people getting brain bleeds and getting maimed in the ring. You know what I'm saying? They didn't bring up the same day rehydration thing. But half of the safety issues, when he brought up the deaths in boxing, it's because of the rehydration. It's because of in boxing, you know, you have 3-minute at 12 3-minute rounds. You know, you got 12 of them. You know, UFC, what you get? You get 5 minutes, and you get what? You get about what? 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 5 rounds, something like that. You know, they're in and out. You know, they get like 15 fucking minutes. You know, when they get hurt, they're damn near out of the fight. The fight's damn near over. You know what I'm saying? You know, and they're not. They brought up the commissions, but then when they brought up the commission, it seems like you didn't bring up these referees. They didn't bring up the referees. Like they didn't bring up that. You know, when it comes to these state-sponsored boxing commissions that every boxing event has to abide by. You know, they didn't bring up these referees and their lackluster performance. You know, having these it doesn't happen often, but some of these fighters need to be protected for themselves. You know, this idiot, man. Some of these fighters need to be protected for themselves, bro. Like, cause I've seen some shit. You know, rabbit punches and excessive headbutting and shit like that. You know. Or like I think those are the #1 causes of brain bleeds. To include not hydrating right, not weight draining right, you know. But they brought up the medical shit. Like, I don't think the examinations. Now, some of these fighters shouldn't be fighting, like Lucas Brown. I think that if a fighter, especially in the heavyweight division, if they can't get in somewhat decent shape, they shouldn't be allowed to fight. They shouldn't be allowed to fight, especially if they're like, you know, Dillian White, Derek Chisora, Lucas Brown. Shouldn't be allowed to fight. There's a couple of other ones. They shouldn't be allowed to fight. Like, I don't think any fighter should be allowed to fight if they can't get in a decent shape. You know, coming into the weigh-in looking like a goddamn fucking, looking like death, looking like Skeletor and shit. Like, coming to the weigh-in like looking like heavyweights coming into the weigh-in like looking like they're fucking just got off the couch and ready to get this motherfucking check. You know, motherfuckers don't care though. But I think that there should be something done to the Muhammad Ali Act. He was supposed to stop. I think there's a red light right there. I think there should be something done with the Muhammad Ali Act, but like the like with these ticket sales, with these gloves, with what are you doing, bro? Damn. With these ticket sales, all he had to do was slow down. Like, I don't know. And this dude gonna fucking honk at me. You fucking idiot. What's going on, Lala D? With these ticket sales, with these gloves, with these referees, with these judges. I think there should something be done, because I think that at the end of the day is like those are like, and the same day weigh in. I think that needs to be re-implemented. You know, I think that in the UK, all adverse and analytical findings need to be given to all interested parties instead of waiting to after the fight, like Dillian White's case, to let people know that this guy fucking popped. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that shit should be aired out. And you know what? Matter of fact, I think the Muhammad Ali Act should state that any adverse analytical finding needs to be put out there, needs to be given to all media. Fuck giving it. It needs to be given to the media and all interested parties all at once. Fuck all that. Oh, you going to the boot? Nah, I'm not going. I ain't going. I'm gonna be doing something else. I think they need to be given to all interested parties all at once. I don't think there should be a let's wait. I think it should be given to the media as well, all at once. You know? And there probably should be something in there like bigger penalties for like negligent fucking PED usage. I think there needs to be something in there for that, because ain't no way in hell there's people out here buying flights and shit, hotel rooms and everything. The only thing they do is get their oh man, hold up. Get their ticket money back. You know, and some of these penalties ain't even much. It ain't even a lot. You know? I'm not saying they should put them into bankruptcy or something like that and not be able to feed their family, because sometimes, you know, the fighters don't even have an answer on why they fucking pop, bro. Some of these fighters are just dumb. They'll just take anything. They're not watching nothing. They trusting everybody around them. Just popping any kind of artificial muscle intelligence, vitamins, supplements, and all that shit. And some of these cats, they trust in too many motherfucking people. You know? Yeah, this traffic, man. Let me get the fuck up out of this fucking state. This city. Get the fuck up out of here, bro. There's like 4 lanes, and like the middle lane is like moving slow. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till this car go. I should just get over now. I'm gonna wait. Yeah, man, but I watched that hearing, man. I didn't think that it ain't going nowhere. Ted Cruz seems like he already knows what he wants to do. You know, he already his mind is already made up. I think a lot of the other senators, I think their minds are made up already. I don't think I think it's gonna go on and push forward. I don't think they're gonna put something in there that says like it doesn't affect regular boxing, it's just for UBOs, which I think that's what it should be. But I also think that, you know, fighters should get a fair shake of the pot, and you know, to be able to feed their family. You know what I'm saying? Instead of $500 a fucking round, you know, because the max a fighter's going to get, because if you're not fucking, if you're not a fighter that they're trying to, you know, that's already established, like, and you're coming up and you do a 5-6 deal, 6 fight deal, or whatever, how they're going to do it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be significant in the month, in the amount to where they could somewhat try to get their return on investment off of these fighters, and, you know, some more, like they do in the UFC. They're going to get stuck because because they're still going to have to find a promoter that's going to be willing to give them more. You see what I'm saying? And most of everybody can't name nothing but 5 fucking promoters in boxing. They can't. They actually actively promotes, and I'm not talking about, or managers. I'm not talking about like these boxers having their own promotional brand or managerial brand on the side. You know, there's not a lot. There's not a lot. You know? And if you're not, we've seen what happened with Moses Heredia and Jojo Diaz. We've seen what happened with that. He had his fighter damn near fucking poached by Daniel Kinningham and somebody else. I forget. I don't want to say the wrong name, but Daniel Kinningham's name was on the court paperwork. You know, and I think that I also believe that in the Muhammad Ali Act, it should have something in there for fighters, so they can see where the money is coming from in their contract. You know what I'm saying? Well, or maybe that it should be disclosed on where the money's coming from. You know, and it should have something in there, like it can't be through proxy and all this shit. So everybody knows, like, you know, they're doing fair business. You know? So people can know, like, people like Daniel Kinningham is not the one behind the scenes brokering these fights. You know? Because that's what's going to happen. Again and again and again and again and again. Now, I know these boxing organizations, you know, have their own operational costs and stuff like that. But I think, this is just my 3 cents. I believe that boxing is the biggest corrupt sport in America. Internationally, I think it's soccer. It's probably going to be soccer and cricket. But as far as in America, I think it's going to be boxing, especially in the amateurs. I would like the amateurs too. I would like to highlight the amateurs too, but you know, and there's nothing being done about that. You know, there's arguably nothing to protect fighters from these punk ass judges. You know, there's arguably nothing. Like the scoring can be horrendous in some cases. Like, and I'm not even fucking getting it, bro. I don't get it. You know, there's a lot of shit in boxing that can be done, man. But it's crazy how out of all the hearings they had for the Muhammad Ali Act, you know, out of all the hearings, it seems like nobody's took into account anything for who's giving them from the information. Ted Cruz gonna sit up there and tell me he talked to a lot of people in boxing to come up with this idea. Like, people in boxing is not okay with it. They all think it's dumb. They all think it's dumb. You know, if anything, like, they should have held off. Well, I think the people within boxing did it to themselves. And why I say that is because it seems like when the draft came out and everything like that, they didn't, like, nobody really, how would I say, tried to reach out or anything like that to any of these senators to with their concerns until it was too late. You see my blinker on, bitch, so shut up. I can see her in the window pointing fingers and shit. She can eat a dick. You know. I think it's funny. Oop. Gotta get all the way over. Brakes. I don't need to hit no motherfucking brakes or nothing. That's good. Oh, damn. They said traffic over here. Where I'm going at? Oh, shit. Oh, man. I got from the Ronex. I was supposed to keep going. Oops. I guess we'll turn around somewhere. I have to get off and get back on. Yeah. Damn it. Nah, it looks like I can go this way. Let me see. Some of these motherfuckers, man. Okay, we're not getting off right there. Yeah, but we gotta pay. So, man, I gotta pay this fucking toll. just says pay online. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna still get to the airport. It's gonna loop me around. Let I get off on the next exit. Yeah, but I think there could be more done, but I don't think anybody's going. I think it's gonna pass, and I think what's gonna happen is people are gonna see how dumb it is, you know, because of everybody who voted yes for this shit. I know you want to say, well, people on the far left and the far right, they all came together and voted. That don't mean it's good. Motherfuckers don't be watching the ins and outs of boxing. Like even us as fans, you know, don't even really know a lot of the shit that goes on in boxing. But the shit that we do here compels me to believe that this revival act shit is stupid. You know? It's stupid. These motherfuckers should just do their own damn fucking thing. And don't mess with boxing. If they want to mess with boxing, make the fucking shit better. But don't fucking sit there and try to take everything from the fighters. You know, some of these promoters, they're paying cell phone bills, car leases, rental leases, you know, where they live. They're giving them stipends. Who that? What's up, Bruce? And shit like that, because they have no fucking money. You know? And then you had Al Heyman not charging people that didn't make $250,000. You know? And now you got somebody like let's take Jermaine Franklin for instance. Jermaine Franklin was working at a fucking factory when he fought Anthony Joshua. Jermaine Franklin had to go back to the factory after fighting Anthony Joshua. You know? What's his name? The young buck. What's his name? Gerald Anderson? Him. The reason why he was crying on one of the fight build-ups and people was like, oh, this and the third talking shit about him. The reason why the dude was crying was because at a young age, his mom wasn't doing too well as far as like work and all that shit. And he wanted to take care of her. And he went against his peoples and took a fight he probably arguably should never have taken. And he lost. But he needed the fucking money. You know, in boxing, we'll see people headline fights, be on a co-main event, and not get that much money. You know, and still have to sit up over there and work a regular 9 to 5. Damn, where is it? Rental car return. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's stupid, man. Economy parking for rental car return. I think this is kind of low key. Kind of stupid. How you get in here? What I got? Fox Rental. Yeah, they treated me right. Fox Rental, bro. They gave me a a Jeep Wrangler, but they gave me the Suge Knight edition. It's all red. It's cherried up. So, yeah, I like it though. It's cool. All right. We're almost back home. Damn, where am I going? Okay, keep going straight. Yeah. But I think boxing's still gonna be okay though. I think the fighter and everybody is gonna be okay. Just people are just gonna have to fucking adapt. You know? Yeah, it might hurt a little bit, but people are gonna have to fucking adapt, bro. You know, and that's just that, and that's just it. They're gonna have to adapt to the times. You know? Man, they made that fucking tight. But anyways, y'all, I gotta go. Peace. I'm gonna do another video the right way next time. I'm gonna make some notes and shit. Alright.